Hello, hello, oh yeah. Hello, everyone. Oh yeah, you know what? You're right. You were totally right. Hee hee. So nah. Yeah. We'll discuss that. I had a moment. I had a moment. Okay. Yeah, well, the thing's like, I was on that Zoom call. And then I was like, oh, okay, no one's showing up, da 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 da. And then I just left. And then as I was about to close it, then I saw you. I'm like, oh, okay. Hello, everyone. My name is Rosita. I am a vocal and language coach, meaning not only do I teach people how to speak in different languages, I also teach people how to sing in them as well. Now, today we are going to be talking about subject pronouns and the fundamentals of how to conjugate verbs in Spanish. Eso sí. Pero todavía, Annalise, podemos hablar en español. So, no se preocupe, chica, no se preocupe. ¿Ok? Quédese contenta. Quédate. No quiere. Pero es gramática. Y te gusta la gramática, ¿no? Todos, no. Todos encantan la gramática. Ay. Yo creo que sí. No, no. Yo que hice fue, what I did was reading and writing. Esa no era. What? No, I put the Spanish conversation class, and then I flipped it. Because your teacher is a boba. And sometimes her brain is like a boba pearl. But just don't drink my brains. Okay? It's not delicious as a boba pearl. Come on. You had to laugh at that. You had to laugh at that. Come on. Let's feel the smile. Let's do the smile. Pues, okay, this is Spanish grammar. A las 6 es gramática en inglés. Del inglés. Zoom. Sorry, I'm just looking for the whiteboard. Here we go. Mood. I'm in a bad moment. I'm in a bad mood. Just, okay, mira su gatito. Y mira qué precioso es. ¿Sí? Ala, no te enojas. Ok, nos vemos a las 6. All right. So, we're going to go over the subject pronouns. Now, as a reminder, subject pronouns, or rather pronouns in general, replaces a noun. This is going to avoid repetition. Sunday, ¿pero qué pasó? Dime por qué. Dime por el Discord, ¿sí? No me gusta cuando estás enojada. And now I feel like I need to do something to make you smile. Okay. Necesito pensar. All right. Now, subject pronouns. Specifically, tells us who does the action. We are going to know this in English as I, you, he, she, it, we, and they. Now, in Spanish, the subject pronouns will be the following. Yo, let me grab my Spanish keyboard here. There we go. Tú, which is informal. And usted, which is going to be polite. He, we have él, she, ella. Now, since nouns are either going to be masculine or feminine, it will fall under the category of he or she. All right? But more on that later. Then we have the plural forms, nosotros or nosotras. Nosotros, which means we, can be a group of guys or a group of males and females. Once we are dealing with mixed gender, we are always going to default into the masculine forms. But let's say we're having a girls' night out. Yeah? Yeah? Who's up for a girls' night out? Well, we get our own word. Now, before we get into they, there are a couple of other pronouns that we need to know. So, in English, we have you singular and you plural. In Spanish, you plural also exists. I'm going to teach you guys two ways. You plural, informal, which is typically used in Castilian Spanish. And then you plural, polite, which, again, this rule applies to only Castilian Spanish. Let's go over the pronouns first, and then I'll explain more. Here we have vosotros or vosotras. Hello, welcome. And then we have ustedes. Now, in Castilian Spanish, there's two ways to say you plural. We have the informal way of vosotros, and then ustedes, which is the polite way. But in Latin American Spanish, wow, I just sound like a gringa. American. like Spanish spoken in Mexico, Guatemala, El Salvador, etc., ustedes is used for both informal and formal situations. We do not use the vosotros form in Latin American Spanish. You'll hear vosotros in Spanish spoken in Spain, Argentina, and other countries. Then tenemos ellos and ellas. So ellos, you guys can be talking about a group of dudes, or you can be talking about a group of dudes and dudettes. Again, if we're talking about a group that's multigender, then we're always going to default into the masculine form. But if you're talking about a group of girls, then we're going to use ellas. ¿Estamos? Are we okay? All right. So then, how does verbs come into the picture? Well, just like in English, right? We have the subject pronouns. This lets us know who does the action. So for an example, I speak Spanish. You speak Spanish. He speaks Spanish. So here, notice how I changed this verb to speaks as soon as I used he. This is an example of verb conjugations. So verb conjugations are changes in the verb forms that will change depending on whom you are talking to or about, and when you are talking about. So here I'm talking about the tense, because verb conjugations is not limited to the present tense. Verb conjugations will happen in the past, the future, the progressive tenses, the perfect tenses, all the tenses. It's gonna happen. So, how do we do all this in Spanish? Well, I'm going to give you guys a little formula, and this will allow you to give you the fundamentals, the basics on how to conjugate the verbs in most of the tenses. Annalise, I miss you! I missed Cyber Hugs. I was hoping you would come back. I was hoping you would come back. See, I knew you loved Spanish grammar, that you couldn't stay away. I knew it deep in mi corazón. And yes, I am trying to make you smile. For the record, I always love trying to make my students smile, even when I know they're having a little bad day. Okay. So, Spanish verbs are either going to end in AR, ER, well, you love learning. Even learning things that you already know. So that's how we're like. We're very studious people. Now, regardless of the tense that we are going to be conjugating in, every subject pronoun will have its own particular ending. Okay? ¿Cómo va? Tal vez podemos hacerlo. Domingo no. Tal vez lunes. Creo, tal vez lunes. Necesito chequear. ¿Va? So I'm going to give you guys 3 verbs. Okay? So I want to put them over here. Tenemos hablar. Yeah, we're going OG here. Hablar. Because these are essentially the 3 verbs that will help you start communicating immediately. And who is ready to speak in Spanish? Like out loud, not just grammar, actually speak it. Who is ready for that? Let me know in the chat. Let me know in the comments below. Because once you guys understand this fundamental, you guys will be talking. All right. Comer. Because, come on, we like to eat. And then vivir. So already by using this verb, we can have a conversation about what languages does your language partner speak. Already we can have an individual conversation on what is the person eating or what they like to eat. Or vivir, to find out where your language partner lives. So these are already 3 separate conversations that you guys can have. So now I'm going to go ahead and put these pronouns down here. Now, let's focus on the singular first, okay? Because I generally don't want to overwhelm you guys. So we're going to focus on the singular. And then if we have time a little bit later, then we will add the plural. Does that sound like a plan for you guys? See? See? Icky. All right. I'm going to put this in a different color. Let's go with green here. So, if I'm using the yo form, I'm going to replace the AR with an O. Let me show you what's going to happen here. So whenever we have the verb hablar, or any AR verb, you are going to drop the infinitive ending. You guys are going to drop the AR to hablo. And then you are going to replace it with the O. And there you have it. We have I speak. And this rule I'm just going to put this down here. There we go. There we go. Now, this pattern is going to follow through ER and IR. Luckily for us, the yo forms, which is the I forms, will also end in O. Talk about convenience, right? Okay. So, comer. What I'm going to do here, you see that ER verb? You see that ER ending? We're going to drop it. Yeah. We don't like it. So then you're left with com. Then we're going to go ahead and replace it with O, and ta-da, we have I eat. Let's do another one. Vivir. So here, I'm going to drop the IR. So I'm left with vive. Then I'm going to replace the IR with an O, and I have I live, vivo, Las Vegas. No, or living la vida loca. See? No? Okay. Now, a common question that I get is if the O ending automatically means I plus the verb, do I have to use the subject pronoun yo? No, actually, you don't. Most commonly, we actually drop the subject pronouns because the verb endings already insinuates that you're the one doing the speaking. Aliens, we don't live on the planet. And you know what? You never know. Aliens could be living here on this planet. Nunca sabemos. Just saying. All I could tell you, like, I have suspicions for a certain group of people. I wonder. But then I realized I think the aliens would be smarter. Okay. Let's do another one. Let's do the tu form. So here we have AS. So if I wanted to say you speak informally, don't forget, I have Inglés para principiantes después. I have, which either way, I have to cut it short because we're going to a jazz concert. One of my friends is performing. Leah Booth. Oh, amazing. Yes. Yeah. Between that? Yeah, that's totally fine. Yeah. Sorry, I thought you meant at 6 o'clock. That's totally fine. That's totally fine. Okay. So here, to say you speak informally, I'm going to drop the AR. And I have hablas, which means you speak. Then I have the polite way, which we're going to end with a, which is habla, which means you speak as well, but politely. Now let's take a look at the ER-IR forms. Now, here, both ER and IR, you can see how they're in the same color because, for the most part, in the present tense, they're going to share the same ending. So one thing that, and which I apologize, I did not mention, the verb conjugations that I'm showing you are in the regular present in Spanish. But the focus is to show you guys the fundamentals of actual verb conjugations using subject pronouns, and how subject pronouns are a huge, massive part when it comes to for verb conjugation and speech. So, por ejemplo, aquí we have comer. So if I want to say you eat, it'll be tú comes. You eat. Or, here I put an E, usted come, which means you eat, politely. Then we have vivir. So we're dropping the IR. And here I'll have vives, which means you live informally. Or vive, which means you live politely. Now let's go ahead and try something before we continue. Yeah? See? Okay. So in Spanish, what we're going to do is, to form a question, all we have to do is just change the inflection at the very end. So we're going to raise it. Oh. Guys, can you give me 1 second? Someone is in the doorbell. Someone's at the door. I'll be right back. Write the notes down. Stay, young lady. Film, so people don't see the bed. Okay. I am back. I apologize. Blame Amazon. Yeah? Can we do that? Yeah, let's definitely blame Amazon, because I had no idea it was Amazon. I am actually expecting people to come later. All right. Okay. So going back. To form a question in Spanish, all we have to do is just change the inflection at the very end. And mother, kind of teaching live. Yeah, gracias. I don't think I want my students to hear, oh, what did you? Just like that. Why is my hair red? Oh, because I have red strokes. Anyways, ni modo. So if I want to ask, oh, do you eat? Okay, I'm going to go gringa here. Burritos. Do you eat burritos? In response, so to ask that, I was like, ¿comes burritos? Do you eat burritos? ¿Comes burritos? Do you eat burritos? So to answer, to respond, I would say, sí, como burritos. So I just changed the ending to talk about me. So let's do an exercise right here in the chat. So if I wanted to ask you guys, ¿comes pizza? ¿Comes pizza? How would I respond? Let me know in the chat. Yes, así es. Sí, sí, sí. Sí, como pizza. Good. Let's do another one. Okay, guys. Comes. ¿Comes ramen? Do you eat ramen? How would I respond to that in Spanish? What will be the yo form here? Let me know in the chat. Oh. Okay, so sería, okay, no como ramen. So you can add any food item after this verb, and voila, you guys will have a conversation. Woohoo! Same thing applies to AR verbs. So if I wanted to ask you, what? Oh, exclamation point. ¿Hablas japonés? ¿Hablas japonés? Do you speak Japanese? So how would I respond with yes or no? That one you can choose. I speak Japanese. So in my case, sería sí. Hablo japonés. ¿Ya? ¿Mejor? So this is why I said, once you guys learn the fundamentals of learning the verb conjugation, you guys will be able to automatically converse. Let's just do two more here. Let me grab the green here. So here for AR verbs, we have a. So for an example, habla, which means he speaks, or she speaks. Hold the phone. How will I be able to know if we're using usted, él, and ella if they are sharing the same ending? Context. If I'm looking at you, I'm like, perdón, ¿habla inglés? Well, I'm using the usted form because I'm talking directly to you. And I'm being polite. I'm using the polite version because we are either strangers or acquaintances for most of you guys. But let's say I was talking about about Estrellita, right? I could say, ella habla perro. She speaks dog. Or if I was talking about my brother, mi hermano habla inglés. Él habla inglés. So you can also replace the él or ella with an actual person. ¿Habla perro y habla gato? No, ella no habla gato. Now, the same pattern, or rather, a similar pattern happens in the ER and IR verb. So here we have, let me change to orange. No creo, no creo. It's like saying Chinese and Japanese are the same language. Okay, so aquí we have come. He eats. Come también sería she eats. Vive. This can mean he lives. Or vive can also mean she lives. So, él vive en Washington. Ella vive en Nicaragua. So, dime, ¿dónde vive? Where do you guys live? How would I respond to that? Let me know in the chat or in the comments below. ¿Dónde vive? Por ejemplo, yo vivo en California. Your dog and your cat can understand Spanglish? Cool. My dog, she understands Spanglishnese. Oi, oi, oi. Okay. All right, so this is just part 1 of the verb conjugations with pronouns. Now, if you guys are part of my Discord, I am going to give you guys a worksheet that I would like for you guys to do. All right? And please write your answers in our channel. If you would like to join our Discord community, our Discord fam bam, with all of our language learners, whether it be for my speakers or my singers, you guys will have full access to the lesson notes, the materials, the audio, the reading, the writing. Also, you guys can ask me questions directly through there. You guys can join. Sorry, I'm also reading to the chat here. For a one-time $5 fee, you guys will be able to join us. And also, you'll be supporting this channel so I can continue on teaching you guys for free. So, it's a win-win situation. All right, guys, that will conclude class for today. And until next time, I shall see you guys soon. Nos vemos!